Hello, I am the Obscure Jackal, and welcome back to Winds of Change. Last week we met up with Valessa and Fortem, the scribe and her protege, and looked around a bit of Valenorth. This week we're going to meet up with the Elder of Valenorth to discuss the vision we had and discover some hidden truths. Remember, if you enjoy this video, please leave a like as it helps my channel a lot, and consider subscribing so you can keep up with everything going on in Alestia. And if you want to catch me live, I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so before we go to Milos' house, the mayor, we're going to head back to Main Street as we picked up Valessa here in the town square, and there should be an option to talk to her. Oh, and we have another parallel chronicle. So let's go ahead and talk to Valessa first, and then we'll go from there.
Hey,
Do you like living in Valenorth?
yeah, of course I do. It's so peaceful and everyone is so nice. I don't think Valenworth has any real downsides. We're not plagued with piracy like Mazea. Our hierarchy works, and we're always stable. If I ever got the chance to leave, I doubt I would. That's partly why I've never left the village. I know that Peregrino is out there in Solberg, but I've only heard stories. I've never actually been.
We might have to leave someday, you know.
I'm not holding my breath, to be honest. We're rather self-sustaining here in Valenorth. As long as we have seers and scribes, we'll be good. Everything pertaining to our livelihood can be foreseen. So far, we haven't had to forge any alliances or treaties. And remember, it's been this way for thousands of years. Not that I'm against alliances or anything like that, but we have no purpose to leave, so I probably won't. I need to stay where my role is deemed most important.
Which is really by the Sears' side. So my side. What's it like working with Fortem?
It's an experience, to say the least. His attention span isn't the best, you know. He'll zone out in the middle of our studies. And he always finds a way to make things humorous. It can be somewhat frustrating when I'm trying to teach him, but maybe that's just me, and I need to loosen up a little.
As long as we all get along in the end.
I guess so. We could hate each other's guts. That would make protecting Valenorth quite hard. Considering that, I think things are pretty good. I guess I'll just work on my tolerance for his antics. I kinda thought you'd agree, and now I feel weird. But if this is just a Valessa problem, I'll fix it. As always, you have a way of putting things in perspective. Sorry if it sounded like I was bashing his personality. It was more like an observation, that's all.
Hey, at least she's honest. Alright, let's go find out what this is. Pro. We heard about him from Domik. Pro slammed his hand of cards down on the table. His opponents scoffed and shouted accusations of cheating. He smirked as he made his way to the bar, laughing them off. With his newfound riches, he'd celebrate over a drink.
Only when they lose do they accuse me of cheating. Where I come from, it's called a sore loser, Aaron.
It's only being sore if you're not cheating. Pro, are you swindling people in my tavern again?
Again? He's done this before.
Now, that's such a terrible way of putting it. There's nothing wrong with using sleight of hand to win. I like to think that they're paying me for my awesome tricks.
And taking it out on me and my tavern. Yeah, I can see why you think that's so much fun. You're not the one who has to clean up after the brawls.
Aww.
Trust me, I'd kill for a brawl right now. And remember, this isn't your tavern.
Sure it is. Has my name on the deed and everything.
Oh yeah? Say that to Domic's face. He's only keeping you open as an intermediary. We need a neutral place between Mazeo and Valenorth.
Trust me, Pro. I'd manage just fine on my own. Most people come here for the drinks and the fun. Domek's support is a bonus, not really a necessity. Besides, how is your investigation going? Weren't you looking into the seer or something? Hard to do that when you play cards all day.
You think I'm playing, but I'm secretly listening. Your patrons have given me a great deal of information.
So you're stealing that from them too? Are you ever gonna give anything back around here?
Yeah, I'm this close to making my move. There's this really cool sword being held in Valenorth. I'm supposed to retrieve it, along with the seeress.
I think it's interesting that they actually have the name that I've put in there, when these characters really probably wouldn't have much reason to know my name.
Of course, that was almost a week ago. Domek is pretty impatient, so I better hurry. If I take any longer, he might send someone else.
That's the smartest thing you've said. Not today or this week, just in general. It's not like that blade will come to you.
Ooh. Burn.
Here, try this new ale that just came in. But after that, you really need to get to work. I'm afraid you're scaring away some of my business.
Yeah, I'll get right on it. At least let me write my boss first. There's a bunch of stuff he has to know.
You mean Domek? He's my boss too, you know.
Yeah, of course. I'll grab a paper, and you break out that ale. It better be as good as you're making it sound.
Interesting. Alright, that out of the way, let's head up and talk to Milas. We enter Milas's house with an aura of purpose. Though they didn't know what I saw, they knew it was important. We see him shuffling in papers at his table, oblivious to our existence.
Hey, Milas. We need to have a word.
He doesn't seem to respond and continues his business. Fortum seems anxious and taps his foot on the floor. A few moments later, Valessa gives up and interjects.
Milas, snap out of it. We need to talk about something important.
She slams a fist down on the table, startling Milas. He jumps back a few feet in fright and then laughs. Whatever he was looking at, it fully engrossed him.
You know what they say about death, right? When we die, we go on to live in the realm of spirits. With that logic, spiritual energy should be infinite.
I'm not really sure how to respond to that. I mean, we've had seers and scribes for thousands of years. I'm pretty sure we'll have them for thousands more to come.
Wouldn't that be beautiful? Sorry for rambling, but we should all have a seat. I'm afraid things aren't going to go as planned.
He motions to the back of his house, a carpeted area. With no chairs in sight, it looks like we'd be sitting on the floor. We make our way over there, questioning just what he meant.
I think we were going to say the same thing to you. I mean, the seers had a vision last night. A big one. Hopefully we have enough time to get through all of this.
Well, unfortunately, I'm past the point of subtlety. So, in the interest of time, I'll get right to it. The induction ceremony is henceforth cancelled.
What? You can't be serious! You hype us all up and take it away? There better be an explanation for this.
Fortum is fuming with anger and very upset. I guess Milas was right. Plans have changed. But the timing, along with my vision, was odd.
What's going on here, Milas?
I'm afraid that's a very complicated answer. Let's back things up a few moments. Cirrus, tell us about the vision you had.
I take a deep breath as we all sit down. That was the moment I told them everything, how Valenorth was destroyed by the Triumvirate. I told them about the blaze and the agony, how the man who led the attack had a mystical blade. Not only did it kill Ulrich, but it killed me as well. When I finish my story, I'm met with silence. They look amongst themselves in shock and confusion. That's fine. It was a lot to process all at once.
Just as I expected. It was only a matter of time before you saw it. That is, if the spirits truly cared about our protection.
Wait, slow down a minute. How do we know nothing was lost in translation? Remember how abstract visions are known to be?
I can confirm that an attack is imminent. Besides, Valessa, you know visions aren't like that. The spirits have gotten strong enough. That's no longer an issue.
But this can't be true.
It is. And unfortunately, it's just the start. But there are still some important matters at hand. Before I send you off, I'll tell you everything.
He smiles at each of us before taking a deep breath. I notice large bags under his eyes, signs of unrest. He must have been living with this secret for a while.
I didn't want to tell you until you needed to know. I'm just lucky that this vision waited until I was ready. The Triumvirate wants to occupy Valenorth, as they did Mazeo. I know what you three lost in Mazeo, and I'm sorry, but what they plan to bring to Valenorth is far, far worse. Punishment for my father's involvement with the rebellion.
Just like that empty armor seemed to imply. So Valenorth did have some relation to the rebellion. And it wasn't just during Miles' short reign either.
We're supposed to be nonpartisan.
Yeah, that's our whole deal. Why would your father do that to us?
I'll never forgive you, Miles. Your father is responsible for all of this? He betrayed Valenorth the moment he helped them.
Why are you getting mad at Miles? It's not like he was the one that did it.
Understandable, but this is not my fault. Surely you know about my father's disappearance. But have you heard the stories of the recent rebel victory?
Rebel victory?
The blade that the seeress mentioned. It was taken from the Triumvirate. Without it, they are weak and vulnerable.
I don't know
But
about
it's not
that.
an easy feat to accomplish. In their pursuit of the blade, many people died, including the leader of the rebellion itself. The new leader, Damek, sent it here for safekeeping. I hid it in the grand tree where no one would find it. I want you to take it and seek out Damek in Mazeo.
Hey, slow down. This makes sense to you, but it's all a blur to us. Your father was one of the men that died to get this blade?
Indeed he was, Fortem. The rebel leader's death, my father's disappearance, I'm afraid those are intricately connected.
So his father was the leader of the rebellion.
You mean...
Yes, I do. My father didn't work with the rebellion. He created it. The first allegiance in Valenorth's entire history.
Whoa.
He formed an allegiance with insurgents in Mazeo. Together, they grew and created a large army, large enough to steal the Triumvirate's sacred blade.
I don't understand why he'd do that. We're fine on our own. We always have been.
Times are changing and leaving us behind. I'm afraid that Valenorth is a dying culture, Valessa. What I am about to tell you must not leave this room.
What is it?
You know of Salberg, right? How it houses the spirit idol of Valenorth.
Yes, of course. But it's been blocked off for a long time. I've never gone to see a spirit idol in person.
I'm afraid it might remain that way. Cirrus, on the eve of your birth, it went dark. Valenorth is living unlimited spiritual energy.
There's no way I believe that, Miles. Our connection with the spirits is eternal.
I wish that were the case, Fortem. It pains me to say this, but it's true. You are the last Cirrus we shall ever have. Normally, the spirit idol chooses a child. That child is imparted with a surge of spiritual energy. When they pass away, it does the same to the next generation. But you, Cirrus, it gave everything to you. Like the spirit realm is making one final push. I don't know why, but I have my theories.
It sounds like the spirits have given up on us. Perhaps we took their gift for granted and abused them. Without that idol and their energy, what will happen to us?
I don't know how she got that they've given up on us from that little speech.
I expect that Valenorth will become like any other nation. We'll take history into our own hands, rather than act on guidance. It's not a bad thing, and I don't think the spirits gave up on us. In fact, I think it's the opposite.
Back to that blade again? What does that have to do with all of this?
It's not an ordinary blade, as you've been told. In order to harness it, you need remarkable strength. Or, in other words, a vast amount of spiritual energy. Cirrus, I think the spirits chose you to wield this blade. To take it, join the rebels in Mazeo, and defeat the Triumvirate. I know this is asking a lot of you, but we always follow their lead. Valenorth may be attacked, but we can rebuild from the ashes. Our true goal here should be the destruction of the Triumvirate. History should be in our hands, not in the hands of unjust gods.
I can agree with that.
So that's why your father formed this alliance? To take control of our history in the spirit's absence? And to make sure the Triumvirate doesn't dictate our future?
He wanted to strengthen our bonds with outsiders as well. Without visions, we have to take things as they come. Foresight helped us out, but we won't always have it. What we do have, however, is the potential of the Cirrus. I think that's why he sacrificed himself to get this blade. He knew that you'd be able to wield it and achieve liberation. Please, take the blade and flee to Mazeo. When the ceremony is supposed to start, I'll tell the people. They're all rounding up, so it'll be easy to evacuate. We might be a bit behind, but we'll meet in Mazeo. There's lots to plan, and little time to plan it. We'll need new homes and blades for any volunteers. As far as I can tell, this is not up for debate. If you think it is, then consider it in order from your elder. Leave as soon as you are able, and we'll meet again soon.
He stands up and walks away. Moments later, he's back to his usual business. We exchange glances with one another, overwhelmed.
Listen, I'm gonna try and be the voice of reason here. Milas said a lot of stuff, and it could be true or false. But if an attack is coming, we should go either way. Especially if there's a weapon we can use. I think we should grab it from the Grand Tree first. Again, not siding with anyone here, just using...
Yeah, you're right. We do the same thing, even if Miles didn't tell us to. Find something to defend ourselves with, and leave Valenorth. But he said the spirits gave you all their power? And they cut their influence from Valenorth for good? This changes Alestia's entire history, not just our actions. I can't say I fully understand, but it makes sense. Miles' father foresaw all this and took action. I feel hatred, but at the same time, I feel hope.
Let's take this one step at a time, Valessa. We'll grab the weapon and make our way out of here. The rest can fall into place as we move on.
We nod and we stand up as well. With an attack on the way, we had to move. Milas would take care of evacuating everyone else. If we got that blade first, Sovi couldn't use it.
So, to the Grand Tree then? I'll try to maintain one modicum of sanity. It's not like our lives were just turned around.
I'm sure we'll manage as long as we're together. I'm not giving up on any of you. I promise. There's nothing we can't do if we all pitch in. Let's go to the Grand Tree and get that blade.
Okay, so we've got a couple of things to do here. We've got a couple of parallel chronicles. Can talk to Fortem and Valessa, which we're going to go ahead and do. And then there's a couple of books to find.
Hey,
What do you think about all of
It's a little
this?
overwhelming, to be honest. I know I acted all cool, but I'm not really sure. I'm used to a simple life. Now that's all gone. As far as I know, Valenorth is the last spiritual nation. If we lose our connection, what's going to happen? Will Alestia just be completely devoid of spirits? And not only that, but the Triumvirate being evil? As far as I know, they've always been benevolent. I know what we lost in Mazeo, but I've moved on. Anyway, I can process all of that later. I'm more worried about what's going to happen to us. Not Valenorth or Alestia. Just you, me, and Valessa.
Yeah. That's easy. That's fair enough.
Hey,
Valessa, what do you think?
you mean everything that Milas told us? I'm freaking out. I can hardly believe it, but the spirits would never lie to us, right? I can't believe the Triumvirate is our enemy. I know they had their reasons with Mazeo, but there's no reason to attack Valenorth. Not at all.
That's... Yeah, maybe.
Honestly, I don't know. I usually look to you when I think about that. But without spiritual energy, things will change.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're out yet.
We're up in mountains, and the spirits keep us warm. Without them, Valenorth would freeze and wilt away. We'd have to migrate to Mazeo, like Milo said. One thing I know is that the Triumvirate is ruined. There's no way people will side with this attack. It's only a matter of time before word starts spreading. I think I need to concern myself with Alestia's future. The rebellion will probably be swarming with new recruits. We can fight back so no one else loses their home. And it all starts with that special blade. I guess we should head to the Grand Tree. No sense leaving without it, right?
True enough. Alright, let's see what Sovi's up to. Sovi left the chambers of his masters, remaining in shock. The truth of things had been explained, and he was surprised. He knew it would take a while before he accepted these revelations.
Such a truth, and to think I never knew. This will change everything about my approach.
Master, you seem unwell. We leave tomorrow, you should get some rest. I know I'm not the one to give orders, but please.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It seems there is more to this attack than we knew. The Triumvirate just finished explaining our true objective.
Our true objective? Sophie, what is the meaning of this?
I don't think I'm able to tell you, Halen. They trusted me alone with this information. Perhaps you can visit them on your own time.
Typical. Teasing me with information and pulling rank. I want to prove myself, Sophie. I want to be at your side.
Trust me, that would be wonderful. But this is different. It changes everything. It would be better to hear it directly from them.
All right, all right. I have to say, you seem quite distressed. I'll go talk to them, but take my advice and rest.
I'm afraid there's no time for that, Halen. I'm going to speak with the prisoner. He's coming too.
Shane is coming with us? Sophie, that doesn't make any sense.
It seems a run-in with the rebels is likely. To that end, I've come up with a fitting punishment. When you're done with our masters, meet me back here.
Yes, of course. I'm ready to take action at a moment's notice. And now, something tells me we will be.
Alright. Well, let's see what Domic's up to. Domic conversed with Grizz, the mayor of Mazeo. There was much to be done before the rebellion could settle down. But first on his agenda was procuring the city's underground tunnels. A place to operate in secrecy would be essential to their continued success.
Come on, Grizz, this must be possible. Even their honor guard barely monitors the place. When they do, they're oblivious to our existence. If we don't push them, they won't push back. Although, one final push might be required. Either way, we need that deed as a rightful claim.
Kamek, for the last time, it's not so simple. If the Triumvirate knew I was helping you, they'd kill me. I wouldn't be surprised if they damaged Mazeo as well.
Oh, come on, it's not that risky. We'll operate silently. They'll never know.
Everything has a paper trail, Damek. They keep track of every step I take. At the end of the day, I'm still their general. I understand that you want those tunnels, but it would be too risky. They'd find us out. I'm not gambling with my life, understand?
With them, it's a gamble, I'll give you that. But with me, I'll have you know it's a certainty. I don't think you know how much we need those tunnels.
Damek, is that a threat?
Of course not. We're too close for that. Close enough that you won't have to find out. I'm sure we can come to some sort of deal.
Mazeo is rubbed off on you. I'd expect such tactics from pirates, not you. I have to say...
Damek walks up to the desk and places some papers down. He looked up at Grizz with a smile, who returned only shock.
They dig for 20 years and find nothing. I use my forces and we find it in days. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is it.
Damek, I don't believe this. This is what I've been looking for. You must tell me where it is.
A deed might sweeten the deal for me. Besides, you can report this finding to the Triumvirate. They'll be so ecstatic they won't notice anything else.
It is a big deal, and it might sate them. But they'd likely send forces here immediately. You want me to put a target on your new HQ?
Actually, their forces will be preoccupied. I have word that they're undertaking another mission. We'll have plenty of time to occupy and fortify.
I can't believe you found it, Damek. If you want the deed, you must give me exclusive access. Nobody else can touch it. I have my plans, and that's final.
Of course, I'd be more than happy to, but you might have to wait a bit longer. Tapping into it requires some special means. But I promise you won't be waiting much longer. So please, if you would hand over the deed, and once they arrive, it's all yours.
I wonder what they could be talking about. Who knows? But we've got 2 books to look at, and then off to the Grand Tree. Miles isn't using this desk, so I assume it's fair game. I push aside a few papers, looking for anything of note. A book on Salberg grabs my interest, as he brought it up. Apparently the spirit idol there has stopped giving off energy.
Valenorth's line of seers. The seers of Valenorth have helped guide our nation to a state of constant peace. Everyone in Valenorth lives a simple and happy life under the guidance of the spirit realm. There's only one seer or seeress per generation, and their birth is marked by a surge of energy emanating from our spirit idol located in Salberg. There's a rotation of guards who watch the idol when a birth is expected to take place. As there can only be one seer or seeress at any given time, and the spans of time without them are very small, we can accurately predict when another shall be given to us. With Valenorth's small population, it is very rare for multiple births to happen on one night. However, that is not the purpose of my writing. I wish to discuss what was observed on the night of the most recent generation. Typically, the spirit idol will have a burst of light and energy before returning to a dim state. However, with the latest birth, there was no dim state. Only darkness remained when the final seer was given to us. The implications that this has on the future of both Valenorth and Alestia are too large to even fathom. We must simply take each day as it comes, knowing our dependence on the spirits will grow smaller and smaller. Now, we must come to rely on the rest of Alestia, instead of only ourselves. I will seek out potential partners in the future.
I had no idea that they were hiding such a secret. Valenorth could run out of spiritual energy for good? The cold from East Crown could easily kill us off.
Orson, don't worry. It could be thousands of years before we run out. Besides, at this point, it's still conjecture.
That's optimistic. But she is right, it is just conjecture at this point. I examined the table, looking at the scattered pieces of paper. Milos is deep in his studies, and I'd really hate to bother him. I want to read some as well, so I try to grab something he's put aside.
On Valenorth's blood leaves. Though it doesn't look like it at first glance, Valenorth is actually settled high atop the mountains of Alestia. Many believe that it is the spiritual energy that keeps our village and its surrounding areas warm. But the reach of this energy is not infinite, and it cannot affect the colder climate seen in Eastcrown. We don't venture into Eastcrown simply because our bodies would not be able to handle it. Either way, that is a separate story, and I wish to touch upon the blood leaves native to Valenorth. At the very top of the grand tree, for an unknown reason, the leaves grow a crimson red. We have no explanation for this, though some people believe that these are the tears from the departed, trying to reach our physical realm. A superstition, to say the least. Every few years, a gale of cold wind comes from Eastcrown and assaults the canopy of Valenorth. This causes many of the leaves to wilt and fall off. The wind carries these dead leaves on a journey through Alestia's skies, including the aforementioned blood leaves. The rest of the world sees the falling of the blood leaves as an omen, a portent of bad things to come. The sky being painted red with these leaves may look scary to some, but those who live in Valenorth see it as a natural event. The Elder of Valenorth.
That sounds like it would be kind of pretty.
Eastcrown is a pretty scary place. I've thought about going there, but I'm too scared. Apparently, it's cold enough to kill you in minutes.
The fall of the blood leaves is beautiful, though. I've seen it a couple of times since I was born. Not sure what other purpose Eastcrown serves.
Interesting. So that actually does it for that. So next up, we're going to the Grand Tree, but I am going to leave that for next episode. So thank you all for watching. And again, if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like. Subscribe if you want to keep up with the happenings of Alestia. And once again, you can catch me live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But for now, this is the Obscure Jackal, signing off.